As many of you have noted that use the internet, it has been announced that Disney has acquired the rights to the Star Wars franchise, and in the summer of 2015, we will see the release of Star Wars Episode 7. Herewith is my proposal for the plot of that movie. Begin with standard title sequence and John Williams fanfare, followed by a scroll to be written. I would like to mention that Brian De Palma wrote the original opening scroll for Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. I think it would be a nice nod to the franchise if he were to write this opening scroll. Then, pan down from the twin suns of Tatooine. We are now close on the mouth of the Sarlacc pit. After a beat, the gloved Mandalorian armor gauntlet of Boba Fett grabs onto the sand outside the Sarlacc pit, and the feared bounty hunter pulls himself from the maw of the sand beast.
Okay, this is exactly...
And we realize that he survived the fall.
See, this is me. Boba Fett. No good to me, dead.
What is up, everybody? Konnor Jackson here.
We back
with KonKon's Cantina, the number one Star Wars drinking podcast in all the galaxy,
and
Justin.
Wheel spinning podcast.
Wheel spinning.
Number one wheel spinning podcast.
The we back wheel. Oh, you know, we should go over some points real quick. Chris Machado, you have 3 entries to the grand prize. Russell Strimple, a.k.a. Magistrate, you have 1 entry to the grand prize. Robert, you have 1 entrance to the grand prize. Darth Paolo, you have 1 entrance. Jonathan Kuhn, you have 3 entrances. Jordan Grip, you have 3 entrances.
It's a close game.
Am I missing somebody? Well, if you are, we don't love you, and that's it. So
we said we would write this down. We've done a horrible job already.
Yeah.
Week 1, fail.
Guys, sitting across from me, as always, the man himself, Jay Breezy. Hey, do better, bro. What are you doing?
Any part of this game.
What is up, everybody? This week, of course, we're going to be talking about Book of Boba Fett Episode 2. Justin.
Banger.
Thoughts right off the rip.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. It was great. It felt super Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it, like the Super Nintendo video game. It felt like that.
Yeah, just like that one. Sands of
Tatooine.
Tatooine.
It felt like we were in the Star Wars universe. We had like all of the action. We had all of the nostalgia callbacks. We had our favorite species making appearances. Like, everything was just great about this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I said 9 out of 10 in Discord. For this one right off the rip.
I agree. We also said it made us want to lower our scale for the last episode because of just how good this one is, and not make everything 8s, 9s.
Yeah. And I think we were pretty fair with giving it a 7. I mean, I can see a 6. I can also see, I can see that people that really enjoyed the first episode. I also see people that it wasn't their favorite.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny is, like, let's take IGN for instance. They rated,
I think they've been pretty
well. They rated the first episode higher than this episode by 1 point.
I know, which was I did see. They said 7 out of 10 for this one.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to each their own. Like, people find different things they like in it. So I mean, it's still solid scores either way.
I was just talking. We were playing some games in Discord, and Star Wars came up, and I brought up the thing that's so cool about this episode for me is something that me and you clamor when it comes to Star Wars is we want the stories of the characters that nobody knows about. Like, me and you personally, we're over the main storyline. We've had 40 years of Skywalker. We want the people that make up the Star Wars universe. There's so much more to Star Wars than Sith, Jedi, and lightsabers.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, if that's what Star Wars is to you, that's totally fine. But me and you clamor a little bit more.
It's a huge part, and it's a part that we love, but there's still like an entire universe going on outside of that.
And that's what we clamor for, that world building. And the Tusken stuff was so cool. I really, really enjoyed this episode. Guys, of course, housekeeping really quickly. New stickers we do have. They're not up on the Big Cartel or anything. You can see them. They're not up there yet, but you can see them in our Facebook group. Of course, everything at the following for the social medias: KonKon's Cantina, Instagram, Facebook, You have to get a Discord link where we do talk major Book of Boba Fett spoilers through our Linktree, which is on all social media, also Twitter. For TikTok, it is KonKonscantina podcast. And then, of course, guys, we still do have some rec shirts and we have some regular Cantina shirts. Of course, this episode is sponsored by our patrons. We love every single one of you. Patrons, we are putting your stickers in the mail this week.
Yep.
I already got some of them enveloped up,
and today
you brought me more.
Today, we also decided that through the entire series of Book of Boba Fett, anybody who becomes a patron is going to get a free set of our premium glossy stickers, the big 4x8, the
Glossy
brand new ones. We're not going to just do, we were talking about one episode, we're going to do it through this whole series. If you become a patron, any level, we're going to send you a full set of these stickers, as well as some of like the OG paper slap stickers.
And sweeping declaration number 2. Which was
number 2? Oh, the phone number.
The phone number. Sweeping declaration number 2. We had a couple of suggestions. It's really hard to make up to explain it.
Phone number.
Yeah, we picked a bad phone number.
So the problem with that is the number 1 and the number 0 in a phone number doesn't have the 3 letters attached to it.
Yeah,
that's only 2 through 9.
Uh-huh.
So our number being 900-5084 is like 3 big holes in there.
Yes, but we have assigned those zeros to O's.
The letter O, yeah. And I already forgot what we said.
407 Woo Javi.
Woo Javi.
407 Woo Javi. Once again,
dropping his EP this
dropping
week.
his EP.
Lil Woo Javi.
Lil Woo Javi dropping his EP, guys. Once again, the Cantina hotline 407 Woo Javi. That is 407-900-5084. At the end of this episode, you're going to hear a plethora.
What's not that word?
That's it. Close enough. You're going to hear a bunch of calls at the end of the episode. And don't forget, calling in gives you an entrance to spinning the We Back Wheel, where you have a 50% chance of winning prizes or giving me and Justin a pretty embarrassing dare. Also, you will receive 1 or 3, depending on if you are a Patreon member or not, an entry into the grand prize that we'll be giving away at the end of Book of Boba Fett.
Get your entries in.
The agenda of this episode, as we have already said, is we will be doing the recap of Book of Boba Fett Season 1, Book 1, Episode 2, Tribes of Tatooine. And then, of course, we'll be wrapping up the episode with the Cantina hotline. Justin?
I'm thirsty.
We are a Cantina podcast. So let's go into the Cantina right now.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
I've already swung it over to the beer cam. Justin, this week's episode is sponsored by Dylan.
Yes.
AKA D Money, one of our Patreons this week. He brought us some delicious parcels from his home state of Swampland, AKA
Swampland
Louisiana.
2.
So Swampland 2, you're right. We're the OG Swampland. We're the OG. Dylan was able to secure us some delicious morsels. Mm-hmm. And right now we are drinking Parish No Slaw Extra Toast,
which is famously looks like the exact logo of one of my all-time favorite fast food places that we don't get here, which is Cane's, Raising Cane's Chicken.
I'm gonna get this in the shot so that they can get the color.
So this it doesn't taste like chicken, and it doesn't taste like toast, and it doesn't taste like slaw.
No, none of the above. In fact, when you read it, I hadn't read it because I just assumed this was going to be like a milkshake IPA based on the words that was going to have kind of like an earthy, salty finish of some sort.
Yes, this is a lemonade IPA.
Yeah, did take a sip already.
7% ABV. This is a India Pale Ale with lemon puree, brewed and canned at Parish Brewing. This is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I really don't mind it. The front end reminds me of a lemon head.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a good artificial lemon where it's enough sweet and enough tart. It's a good mixture. Almost like when you get through the sour of a lemon head warhead.
Mm-hmm. And you get the sweet.
Lemon head warhead, lemon warhead. You get the sweet. I wish that the IPA would come through a little bit more.
It's not as hoppy.
Yeah.
It's a very cool combination, though, I think, of like the lemon makes me like you instinctively want to say like a sour.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as tart as a sour, but you get some of that sourness, and then you get some of the hoppiness of an IPA, but without enough to be like mentally thinking this is an IPA.
And it's crazy. I wonder if it's the lemon, because with an IPA that's this is almost the color of a blonde.
Yeah, it does look like almost like a Hefeweizen.
Yeah, and but it's also got some haze. Like maybe it's because it's the thin neck part of this glass, but I'm super impressed with it. I mean, 8 out of 10.
Split right down the middle between like the lemon and the hoppy IPA flavor. It's a very unique and easy drinking beer.
8 out of 10. I think a lot of Mandos would enjoy this.
I don't think there's many things to pick out that you don't like about this unless you'd really hated lemon.
I was gonna say you'd have to hate lemon. Well, if you didn't like IPAs, I think maybe you still wouldn't like it. But this is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it.
I truly like it.
Yeah, I like the can too, and we're suckers for can arts too.
This is going to go in the beer fridge.
Oh yeah,
it's got the red label of, if you didn't see the video, it's a red.
Oh look,
Raising Cane's looking.
There's a Cane's bandana on one of the dogs.
Oh nice.
Yeah,
and then there's a piece of garlic bread on the back side of it,
like a Texas toast.
Texas toast.
Yeah, it's super cool. Really enjoy that. Thank you, Dylan, for bringing this up for us. I'm really enjoying this one.
It's how I order my Raising Cane's. No slaw, extra toast.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's like instead of you get
like substitute the one for the other.
The last time I had Cane's, I can't remember.
If you've never been to Cane's, it's like a dramatically better Zaxby's. If you're a Florida person,
dramatically better is the key word, because Zaxby's sucks. Don't come at me. Stuff is garbage.
It's like the fried chicken with like the Texas toast, and they have their own patented Cane sauce or Zax sauce. But everything
the Cane sauce is very good.
Yeah, like if Zaxby's is a 10 to you, Cane's is like a 25.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's get into this recap, shall we? Once again, me and you singing some praises for this episode already.
Loved it.
Yeah, I really, really loved it too. Surprisingly, for the length of this episode, there's not a lot of dialogue. So like when we were just sitting there watching it before we recorded, and I'm doing my recap, my play-by-play, I was kind of having to add a little bit to it, and it's hard to like not describe everything. There just wasn't a lot of dialogue, so I thought it was really cool that.
Well, it's interesting. There's 15 minutes of this is spent in the current timeline, and then 30 plus minutes is the flashback, which obviously he's not talking to anybody when he's talking to Tuscans.
True.
So there's not much dialogue.
Yeah.
Over 3/4 of the episode pretty much is him signing or saying one word sentences.
I got a lot of Indiana Jones from this episode. The whole train scene was I know you said Solo vibes, but to me it was more Indiana Jones. I don't really know why. Absolutely cannot wait for the lawsuit to go through. Beans is how we 1,000%.
How dare they?
1,000% came up with Swoop Bike Gang. Shout outs to us, Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 5, when Fake Han Solo took them to meet Fennec Shan for the first time, and we came up with Swoop Bike Gang. So Disney, you'll be hearing from us because you know. You know who you are.
At least give us like a credit.
I know. Come on.
In like say the thing. KonKon's Cantina. Swoop Bike Gang.
Yeah. Come on.
Executive producers.
We completely 1,000%. I will die on that hill. We came up with that whole thing. Anyway, let's get into this recap. Fennec drags the assassin before Boba Fett. As no threats seem to work for them to gain information, Fennec drops him into what was once the Rancor pit. Frantic, the assassin shouts out that he was sent by the mayor.
Yeah, I don't get that quick turnaround. Like, why was threatening his life with a knife under his throat not scary, but for some reason the Rancor, which like really wouldn't be any less or quicker of a death or long drawn out of a death? I would imagine like one chomp and he'd be dead.
I'm wondering if I'm thinking of like what we think of, like what we know for the basically like the what we know of EU of Rancors, right?
Playing with Spider-Man action figures.
Listen, don't touch me.
Oh.
All right.
He looks like he's drunk.
Yeah, he is. I'm trying to think of like what we know of Rancors. They're only found on like 3 planets. Like they're not supposed to be in Tatooine. Maybe it's like this mythical thing. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to get ate by a dragon either.
But I mean,
you see what I'm saying, though?
Threatened with torture, threatened with, like, they straight threatened him with torture. They threatened to kill him with the blade under his throat. Why would the Rancor, which would be like one squish by the foot, one chomp in his mouth.
Yeah.
Why is that so much worse of a death that he
I don't know.
immediately freaked out?
Well, so he gives it away, tells him that he was sent by the mayor.
Order of the Nightwind was his assassination group, who is a brand new group. That's new. That's nothing ever
I
before
love
talked
Finnick's
about.
little cuts about them, overpriced. They're just people in hoods. She just, she's an assassin herself.
B-grade parkour.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Boba and his squad roll deep through the streets of Mos Espa in search of the mayor. As they walk into the mayor's city hall, a hipster meets them at the desk and asks them what size coffee they would like.
Don't see your name
Dude,
on the...
this dude was the mustache,
long greasy hair.
Yes. Which is so funny.
And he had a little a fancy boy hat on.
I'm gonna pick on myself for a little bit. So I am growing the mustache. I am going for a waxing of the ends goal right now. And when this guy came on, I was like, that mustache looks so stupid. And I was like, oh wait, I can't say that.
Growing a mustache is a rite of passage for everybody. You gotta do it once.
Exactly.
You got to.
Again, the most amazing Twi'lek is back speaking in the mayor's behalf. Still unnamed, by the way, which is just that is just a crime to society that this guy is
the mayor's major domo. That's all they call him.
Yeah, this guy, and once again, the way that he speaks is just hilarious to me. It's like
I'm
Shakespearean.
Sorry for the lack of pomp. I didn't see your litter outside.
Yeah,
it's almost like Jack Nicholson kind of the way he talks.
Every time somebody talks to me and I don't want to talk to them, like, "Where's your litter? I didn't see you. Where's your litter?" Yeah, I really enjoy him still.
Boba's like, we out.
Then the mayor speaks of the former ruler that was known as Jabba the Hutt, of course, speaking in terms to Boba himself.
Confirmed Ithorian is mayor.
I love how we finally know Ithorian. Remember,
Yeah.
we could not remember this freaking species. Thank
Curse
you.
of having a
Ithorian,
microphone in front of you.
100%.
Everything, you draw blanks immediately.
Shout-outs to the sick Jedi Ithorian in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, who does the amazing voice roar thing down the hallway and pushes people
Ripples,
back.
yeah.
Oh, dude, crazy. And one thing that I noticed about him, did you notice all the little hairs?
Yeah,
super
he had,
old
baby Yoda hairs off of his.
And Ithorians, if my memory is serving me right, we're talking in the 600 range for Ithorians. I could be wrong, but
I don't know their age span honestly.
I remember they're one of the ones that are super super old. So no telling really how old he is.
It's cool because you get to see seeing an extended scene with a live action Ithorian. You can see you get to hear his language that the species talk, and then on the top of his head you can see the vocal translator, and you can hear the basic voice, and the basic voice is Robert Rodriguez, who's the showrunner of Book of Boba Fett, which is a cool little cameo that he did.
I'll tell you how I did not care for, and it could have been my sound system. It also could be Disney Plus. Disney Plus has had a lot of problems with sound. I thought that it was extremely hard to understand what he was saying
over his
You know what I like? What did you think? I didn't
pick up on that for me.
So it was easier for you.
I honestly didn't think anything either direction. It wasn't noticed.
It's kind of like we're gonna get into it later, but it must just be something that bothers me because it's like I told you. There's a scene in particular where they failed to turn up the dub of Tamora speaking as Boba Fett because he's yelling outside of his helmet, and then literally in the next scene it's not a problem anymore. Anyway, it was a little rough for me, but I did enjoy the mayor. Do you at this point, now that the mayor alludes to he also is answering to somebody basically?
Yeah.
How do you think that there's going to be somebody else besides the twins? Or do you think that the twins are going to be
I think that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that the Hutts are the kind of the big bad guys because it was Jabba's territory.
What if this is our way off Tatooine? What if we go to Nal Hutta?
See, you say that. I would love that.
I would love it too.
I immediately got scared because the way Boba's... What did he say? They're too busy... Oh, we're jumping ahead in the episode, but he basically alludes that he's only worried about Tatooine. He's like, "Oh, they're too busy on Nal Hutta to be here."
Yeah, they're too worried about the strife on Nal Hutta.
It really seems that Boba is only interested in being the daimyo for Tatooine, and that's it. No other planets, no other areas, just Tatooine.
And I never like to tell you when I hear other people say that you have good ideas, because that's just not good for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I told everybody what you said about the Robin Hood thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, no, I'm actually afraid of that now.
Yeah.
And kind of like what you're saying, that might have alluded to it a little bit. But once again, Boba, basically, back to the recap, threatens the mayor by saying, you should ask yourself who really sent the Night Wind. Once again, that's the mayor responding to the threat of Boba.
Here's your tribute. I'll give you some advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole little bounty hunter scene, I thought that was funny how he was like, I've heard nothing other than you are a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And now you're...
Don't call me a bounty hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the daimyo.
As you said...
what did he say? He's like, you can only rule as long as your daimyo sees fit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And with that free advice, or the tribute, the mayor offers Boba a riddle, saying, quote, running a family is more complicated than bounty hunting, also imploring him to seek information from Garsa's sanctuary. So then, fast forward, of course, the
Back
squad...
to the Cantina.
Well, there goes Spidey. They go back to the Cantina again. Max Rebo at it again, just...
Crushing it.
Yeah, just hitting it up. Garsa speaks about the twins to Boba. This is the information that he was seeking, the information that was alluded to.
We get another extended scene with Rex.
Yeah,
playing
Rex,
some casino card games or running a table.
Clarify that, because people are going to be like, Captain Rex was not in the scene. Because that's what I thought when you said it, when I was sitting on. I was like, what are you talking about?
The droid that originally captained Star Tours.
Exactly.
Voiced by Paul Rubens. And then it was then moved into Oga's Cantina at Galaxy's Edge, still voiced by Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
We've seen him in, I think we've seen him animated too. Rebels. We saw him in Rebels as a animated version.
Mm-hmm.
But he's if it is not that specific single character that was R3X, it's the exact same robot. It's the same mannerisms. It's the bobbing head up and down.
This is funny now that you're saying that, because... it could all fit the timeline, because he could be here before we see him
at Oga's, and he's working one cantina and he's moving up. Yeah.
So because Batu that we know in real life is supposed to be sequel trilogy. Yeah. So it really could be
further plus. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that. That would be really cool.
See that it definitely tracks. It's got to be him.
It's got to be him. Thunderous drums can be heard. The music stops. Everybody stops playing cards, drinking. They turn and they look. 2 large huts appear in the streets of Mos Espa.
Were you happy to see them CG, or did you wish they were practical?
I thought the CG was very good.
Much better than the special edition.
Much better than special edition stuff. Yes, it would have 1,000% been better if it was. What could have happened is, I feel like with them coming around the corner,
off in the distance,
we could have done something real. But with the talking and stuff, obviously it makes sense. Once again, I thought it was really, really good. I don't think you were nitpicking either.
No, I wasn't. I was just curious because, our
Jabba is so good as a real puppet.
We've only known a hut.
Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, by the way, that's a question, is how many puppeteers did it take in filming Return? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a cool question, but it's not a Star Wars question. It's like my pet peeve.
Yeah, I agree. Well, no, because there's it's the pink category, which is it's like a random off topic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's only that
tracks then.
Yeah, it tracks. We're just on a track tonight. Anyway, was super happy to see the huts, which we now know are the twins. 2 new characters,
brand new huts, never before seen. Not animated, not in written media, not in comic books.
Because we've seen some other huts. Lots of huts in Extended Universe, but also we've seen huts in canon in the animated Clone Wars. We've seen some baby huts, and then we also see the female hut in Phantom Menace as well, in the pod racing scene. So we see Jabba, and we see the other hut behind him. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 canon huts that we've now seen, kind of like live action and animated.
Yeah.
So they both come around the corner.
Struggling to hold them up.
Dude, these poor guys.
Ever.
What do they call the...
his litter?
No, the litter. Yes, dude. They're carrying the litter.
Dude, the dude in the front center is like
selling it so good.
like readjusting his grip, like readjusting his stance. Like, oh god, don't make me stand still.
It'd be like carrying two teenaged
Two
elephants.
Volkswagen Beetles. On
Yeah,
top
like
of it.
I don't think they had enough people. Like I think they could have had a couple more people. The twin Hutts explain that they are there in Mos Espa to claim a stake that has been left by their cousin Jabba the Hutt. Of course, some words are exchanged between Boba and the twins. Boba explaining that he is not there to give it up and he will only give it by his death. A large, dark-furred Wookiee,
our boy,
emerges from behind the Hutts. BK,
Black Chrysanthemum, sorry.
Chrysanthemum, Black
AKA
Chrysanthemum.
Santy, AKA BK, AKA Black Santy,
dude.
or Black K.
He looks so good.
Amazing.
10 out of 10.
Like,
he looks so good.
he looks better than any like Mandalorian armored character that I've seen. Like you know what I mean? Like,
hey, whoa, I wouldn't go that far.
But, like,
Bo-Katan looked freaking sick.
To look that good,
He
as
looked
a
way
Wookiee,
better. He looked way better than any of the Wookiees in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, like he looks so good. The armor, like the coloring, his facial movements and everything is way more advanced.
Why is
now.
Chewie so skinny?
Oh,
Chewie needs to freaking hit the bench, bro.
I know.
This dude's like benching like small houses or something. This dude was huge, and his gun was huge. Everything about him. Did you notice on his knuckles? He had spikes, like literally on both hands, like brass knuckles.
I noticed his
like
like shoulder pauldrons were like
both
like spiked shoulder pauldrons.
So we have seen this character before in the Dr.
Afra.
Thank you, Alpha series. So that is Marvel. We have seen this character before.
I'm not sure. I feel like he was somewhere else. I only know of him from Dr. Afra. We know that he was, as all Wookiees were captured from Kashyyyk, and he was turned into originally a gladiator. Mm-hmm. So his whole thing was a gladiator forced to fight for his life.
Yes.
He then became a bounty hunter. He was hired by both the Hutts and Darth Vader, which is why Boba knows him.
So when he got back to Kashyyyk, he was cast out of Kashyyyk, apparently, if I read that correctly, and I could be remembering something else. That's why he became a bounty hunter. Because he became a bounty hunter, he was
cast away from not being welcomed back.
Yeah, exactly, from Kashyyyk. Super awesome. Like I told you, I'm really hoping we need a
face-off.
Just like Din fighting the Dark Troopers, I need like BK just chucking somebody across, like Hulk style, chucking somebody across the room, and just
we need more bounty hunters. Like we need that is. I mean, we got what we wanted. We wanted known hunter. Like we wanted that confrontation. That like.
It is interesting that he specifically said gladiator, though. Mm-hmm. You know, because he's more of a hired gun at this point than he is a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm sure like he's known as like a gladiator, like had to fight to survive. He's an amazing fighter, like amazing hand-to-hand fighter. Like that's where he's probably made his name and then started bounty hunting.
Yeah. Back to the recap. Because they are Hutts, they require permission to kill them from Boba himself and Fennec.
Do you really think they would just like resort to killing the Hutts? I feel like that would be a dumb choice.
You don't want the Hutt syndicate. Like the Hutts are their own syndicate. Like they're one of the syndicates. You don't want an entire. Like Boba's too smart for that. That's why he said we need permission.
Even in Episode 1, the Jedi did not want to like mess with the Hutts. They're like, oh, this is a Hutt controlled world, like be cool.
The Hutts are gangsters.
Yeah, like they even if Jedi don't want to mess with them, like you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, no, you really don't. The dreams continue for Boba. I'm gonna turn up my brightness here.
Yeah, officially done with current timeline. Straight to flashbacks now for the rest of the episode.
Yep. Boba receives more training in the Tusken ways. Off in the distance, though, a large train-style speeder tears through the sand. A gangster drive-by then ensues. Rip big ol' Bantha lips.
Big ol' Bantha lips.
First shot. Dropped.
Shoot the helpless one.
Like, I want to know what the Pikes were thinking when they were like, look, these guys are going to run. Let's shoot their elephant-like.
Shoot their pets first.
Shoot their pets that cannot outrun this train. Shoot them and they're screwed. Dude, those things. Twice.
Savage.
Twice. It happens twice in the episode.
Like first shot from the train window, immediately kill the pet. It's like John Wick level retaliation that they caused.
POV inside the train. There's one pike that has just a chart, and it's just tallies for banthas. He just Ray style scratches on the wall every time he kills a bantha.
I also like the fact that the Tuskens have literally never attacked this train. They've never shown aggression.
Well, I
to
think
this
that
train.
it's the first time. Right? I mean, this is
maybe
it's the
that's
very
a good
first
point.
time.
Maybe it's the first one, but still, they've never shown aggression. Like they're just chilling, camping, and hanging out, and they're like,
because later in the episode, he says like,
we assumed that you were,
we were warned that that the route would be dangerous or whatever. But once again, getting ahead of ourselves. Back to the recap. The tribe burns their dead that night. As night falls, Boba notices a gang driving on their speeder bikes in the distance.
Don't bring it up.
I know. He devises a plan to stop the train. After gaining permission from the Tusken chief.
Apparently he's learned TSL.
Yes, Tusken Sign Language.
Yep.
That needs to be a shirt.
Uh-huh.
Patent, Disney. Don't you dare take another one
I've
of
already emailed myself.
Yes. Don't you dare take another one of our gosh darn ideas. In a local cantina, a young couple falls prey to the gang.
Now, is it a cantina?
Yeah.
Do you know what this is? Because this is some straight up fire cannon.
Oh, it's Tashi Station?
Yes, it is.
So we know this because of the deleted scene from A New Hope.
Yes, we
and
do.
One of the things on the wall, the
door, the opening.
Door, yeah.
Do you know who the people are?
No, I don't know who the people are.
The same people from that extended scene. Luke's girlfriend.
Oh, really? That's her?
They name her. Same name.
Huh.
It's now I'm forgetting. I have to look at where I wrote it down. Oh, Cammy and Fixer.
I knew when I saw them, I'm like, they're gonna be somebody, and this is why we work so well together.
Mm-hmm.
You're bringing up the Easter eggs. I got the recap. I knew that because that part had like already leaked. Not that it leaked. It was in one of the promo videos. But it was way brighter in the trailers than it was on the show. But somebody, of course, like, I don't know how people find this kind of time, but it's the panel right when he walks in the door, and
it's one of the most famous deleted scenes because it's fully produced.
Yes.
And the actors that were playing them, they even picked 2 actors nowadays that look just like them, but maybe 5 years older, whatever the time from A New Hope to post Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But like, this is Tashi Station. This is where Luke. This was his hangout spot.
Yeah.
This is where he went. These were his.
It's a convenience store.
This was his girlfriend, his crush. Like, it's awesome. Like, this is now all officially recanonized.
I like to think that she used to like Darklighter, but he ran away to the rebellion. She then settled for Luke. But then Luke also disappeared, so she ended up with this guy.
For Fixer.
Goes for Fixer.
It's pretty cool because we technically did get her or Cammy as canon because in the 2018 Last Jedi novelization, he has a dream about her.
Don't they come up? Isn't there in a certain point of view, A New Hope edition? Isn't there a Tashi Station thing too?
But in The Last Jedi, he has a whole dream sequence where he's married to Cammy and he never left the planet.
What is the name of... I always get this wrong. When it's a book, that's the novelization of a movie.
It's just a novel. It's Last Jedi novelization.
I did Force Awakens novelization, and I did Rise of Skywalker novelization. I didn't do Last Jedi. Now I need to do it.
Last Jedi, the novelization was something that made me actually find more stuff that I liked because I was so bitter at that movie when it initially came out, that some of that type of stuff and diving into Luke, because we wanted Luke to be more likable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a complete tangent, but it's awesome to see Tashi Station.
Yeah.
Like, officially, we see Tashi
deep
Station.
Star Wars canon.
Yeah.
Back to the recap. Boba shows up as the Boba that we remember. One by one, he dispatches... Oh wait, we gotta explain that. That's gonna be weird. So, in Mando, we had the yeah, exactly.
Whenever he like makes his like I'm about to do something amazing appearance,
and in Book of Boba Fett with his theme, we have the
yeah.
So the door opens and it's like,
I like the idea of him just screaming that.
It's just
because all we see is the shadow. We only see the silhouette of him.
He lost
and he just looks up into the left, like,
huh! He lost. That's the William Knife Man.
And then he does his own echo.
Yeah. He lost his spurs, so he needs to let people know when he's coming.
Look,
This is me.
listen to this. This is me, Boba Fett.
Wow, okay, we went way too far. Okay, look, he beats up the entire gang. Disney steals the swoop bike gang from us, and then they get absolutely wrecked by Boba. He then steals their swoop bikes.
Some Bosa Zuko swoop bikes with mega sissy bars.
Dude,
I'm all about it.
The sissy bars are freaking sick. You know, that's like my favorite thing when it comes to cafe, not cafe.
Japanese culture.
Japanese culture, big sissy bars, and also bobbers. I love bobbers with big sissy bars on the back. That's the back seat where as it's referred to as
where
the
your
bitch
back
seat.
goes.
Yeah, where your back goes. Love.
Hence back seat.
Love the big sissy bars. And as you pointed out, we obviously know this is the same gang that we saw in episode 1.
Yeah, if you see like on the front foils, you can see the same. I don't know what you would call it, like double check
Foils.
marks, like like double check mark mirror image check marks, which is the same thing that in the previous chapter we saw them graffiti the little Tatooine bunker house, whatever that they were robbing.
Which, correction on my part, I thought that this was going to be.
Yeah, it was not a correction. We were speculating. We didn't know.
Yeah. You thought it was going to be Mining Guild because it was the same people that we saw in the Mining Guild. Who knows? Maybe they show up at some point.
But it's definitely, it was this little group terrorizing everyone in that area, apparently.
Returning back to the tribe of Tusken Raiders with the stolen swoop bikes, Boba promises to teach them how to ride swoop bikes so that they can stop the train.
What better way to teach somebody how to ride swoop bikes than a goddamn montage?
Dude, we get the full montage. One by one, they are trained in acrobatics and riding of the swoop bikes.
Favorite thing, like he rolls up with the swoop bikes in tow. They immediately just start El Kabong smashing it and ripping pieces off.
He's like, no.
He's like, a gift for you. He's like, oh no, these are mine.
These are mine.
These are mine.
I really like just everything, just how Tamora talks, and I love it.
While I was watching this episode, based what you were just saying, I started to think like, man, this show would be so different if Tamora Morrison and his personal culture and where he came from wasn't who played Boba Fett, because this entire show has leaned into that. Like,
dude, even Mando season 2 leaned into it hard.
It's crazy, like that he became Boba Fett. Like it went from like the faceless, voiceless, well, not voiceless, but no face to the character, to now it's all about basically Tamora and his heritage, like real world heritage that they've pulled into this.
It's so cool because I keep wanting to say Maui because of Moana.
Yeah.
But not.
It starts with an
Polynesian. But the Polynesian culture, and I started looking so much stuff up because of Book of Boba Fett coming out that even my For You page on TikTok, I've had a lot of people with moku come up, which is Polynesian people that tattoo their face. And they have different names for different tattoos in the body as part of their culture. Anyway, whole nother tangent, but 100% who he is. And even at the very end of this episode,
the dance.
I
can't think of what the name of that type.
You mean the Polynesian actual one is?
The war. It's like a war dance or something like that.
Here, I'll find it. Haku.
Yep.
We had to know what it was called. So yeah, even the Haku dancing kind of at the end, and maybe it wasn't directly inspired by that, but
he does like the open mouth tongue,
like
100% rage face, like it's all it's awesome. Like it's the same thing that we see. What's his name from Aquaman? Oh my, Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah,
Jason Momoa. He did that at the it's all like that culture is super ingrained into them as a person, and like it comes out. It's just crazy to think like what Boba Fett would have been without Tamora Morrison.
Oh, it could have been completely different. Yeah. I love where it's gone so far. The time has come. The train approaches. The tribe rides their swoop bikes to meet their new threat. With grappling hooks one by one, they climb onto the train. Of course, as the same as before, assailants are hanging out the window and shooting long rifles at all the Tuskens.
Tuskens are an amazing shot, though, because they got their cycle rifles, and they are, like, from the dunes sniping them from through the little tiny windows.
With a very fast-moving target.
Yeah.
it looks like we have some Tusken Raiders camped out on the Canyon Dune turn.
Oh, that's where they get good at it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've been shooting at Anakin for 3 generations.
That's a good point.
You know how many poor aliens have died in their pod racers to these guys? Like this is a Saturday. See, we go and we shoot an 18 and we do bad on the back 9. These guys are camping out on a Canyon Dune turn shooting at freaking pod racers.
That's a great shot, because it's one thing to shoot a stationary target from a moving target. It's totally different to be stationary and trying to track and predict how far ahead to shoot. Like, yeah, that's crazy shots.
Yeah. Some Tusken Raiders, of course, are lost in the process. Moment of silence.
Killed.
An amazing battle then starts between what we learn later to be the Pikes and the tribe.
Yes.
The train is sped up beyond control as
this droid straight hitting 200 shots of NOS over and over again, blowing the welds of the intake mantle.
I need somebody to rip together. I'm gonna get with
Fast
Niles
and Furious
on this with Paul shutting the laptop.
They just doing the shifts and this.
The train getting every time he shifts the yes, exactly. Yeah. And Paul shutting the laptop. Yeah, I need that whole thing. The train engine is killed, and the train comes to a halt, grinding through the sand. This was my favorite shot of the entire episode.
That was a cool shot.
The train falls and goes through the sand. My second favorite shot, I don't know why it made me laugh so hard, but I loved it when the panel was open and like our main Tusken Raider, he kind of like she just pops up.
I hold strong. It's a girl, man, especially after this episode.
She like pops up, looks around, and then goes back down, and it's just yeet, just
other bodies behind him.
Oh yeah, dude, I loved that. I love that whole thing. As the train is stopped, the train is stripped of all of its goods. Mm-hmm. Boba then explains to the Pike that they must pay a toll to pass through these lands. Now
we're glossing over the Pike Syndicate. We've said that, but
yeah, I was just about to talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay. So the reason we're saying that, number one, they call them a syndicate. Number two, they are the spitting image from the Pike Syndicate from Clone Wars.
Yeah, we've seen them in Clone Wars. Or is it
Rebels?
No, we've seen them in Clone Wars. It's Clone Wars with the Martez sister arc.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, number one, the Pikes are Kessel. Number two, they're obsessed with spice.
Yeah.
These guys are called the Syndicate, and they look exactly the same. It's got to be the Pike Syndicate.
They really do look the same. And we see one in Solo. Remember, Kira goes into the room with him and ends up killing him with Terras Kasi?
Oh, yeah.
But when I see that, and then I see this, and I see Clone Wars, we could be wrong because Pike is never said, but when they said Syndicate, and then I saw Spice, I was like, it's Pikes. It has to be the Pikes.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only thing. It makes so much sense.
It's got to be the Pikes. And I really hope that they become a major player. I hope that Boba has made an enemy of the Pikes, because that was
slowly making like all these different crime syndicates and everything. Like, I love like the underworld. Like, if this show just dug its heels into being like a show about Star Wars universe's underworld, it would be awesome.
Yeah, he refers to himself as a crime lord in the freaking first episode. So, and it was such a cool thing where Dryden Voss and Solo says that there's such a delicate balance between all the syndicates and the Pikes and in Crimson Dawn and all this. So
Black Sun,
it would be so cool to see everything kind of come together, or things just be offset, because now the Hutts are thrown into the mix.
Yeah,
and then
we have a syndicate.
Yes,
most likely the Pike Syndicate. We have the Hutts in this. We have other bounty hunters being pulled in. Like, let's just keep this train of thought going, is what I hope.
Yeah, 100%. Later, Boba is rewarded for his deeds. In the chief's tent, they explain to Boba what their lot on Tatooine has become. One thing that I really liked about this is they reference that the seas of Tatooine, that the seas dried up. Mm-hmm. And to my knowledge, this is the first confirmation in new canon. In the extended universe, we learned that Tatooine used to be a green planet, but then it was glassed over
by somebody
a long time ago, and that's why it's a desert planet now. So to have somebody in new canon explain that, maybe that's not the exact same storyline, but it wasn't always a desert planet.
Whether it was some type of enemy or it was some type of natural disaster, it used to be, imagine Earth. There was oceans, there was green.
And it makes me, as much as we didn't like this episode, it reminds me of TOB1. in Star Wars Visions, their whole goal was bringing rain and green to desert planets. So just restoring that, I really enjoyed that. The gift that is offered to Boba is a small lizard.
The Geico lizard.
The Geico lizard.
Like, you want to get hydro, Rogan?
A small lizard then crawls into what seems to be the brain of Boba Fett and guides him.
He will guide you from your head.
He will
on
guide
the
you
inside.
on your tripping balls. Boba has visions of the past, present. A tree surrounds him, glowing eyes in the tree, breaking free of the Sarlacc, watching Jango fly away.
We talked about this. You did not care for him flashing into the actual Boba Fett classic armor.
No, it wasn't that. It was the whole vision.
Okay.
Like the whole.
So you didn't like the scene?
It looks like they just threw sand in his eyes, but it was spice. It had to have been. What else would have made him hallucinate?
I think it was the lizard.
I don't know. Well,
Dude,
but
the lizard went into his brain.
But then why throw sand in your eyes?
It's probably some type of a food or something that like made him jump into.
That reminds me of the Tobey Maguire thing. I'm gonna put sand in your eye. Like,
Bully Maguire.
Yeah, he throws sand in his face. I thought it was spice, but anyway, regardless,
it could
like
be.
they just got spice.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have known what to do with it. I think it was the lizard. I feel like that's like a weird tribal
Either way, this scene took me out of it. I didn't care for. I felt like I was watching a '90s rock Seether music video with like an Evanescence, Evanescence, and like
I can definitely see that now.
Wake me up, wake me! Like I don't know. I just it seemed off to me. But he comes back to the tribe with a branch.
It's weird also to think about. There's a tree on Tatooine somewhere.
Yeah.
There's just a tree.
It was like driftwood. I mean, they refer to oceans.
Because I mean, if all the Tuskens have gaffy sticks,
This is their rite of
has
passage.
To be like a tree that they all go to and break branches off of and stuff.
Whatever it is they're doing for sure. He is then wrapped in the black-clad robes that we know him from Mandalorian Season 2, what seemingly is the second to last part of being part of the tribe. Construction of his own gaffy stick is then the last. I loved this little...
Building gaffy sticks.
Dude, we are 100%.
Building a gaffy stick.
Really cool, too, that once they carved the wood, they
hardened it.
They hardened it in the fire and charcoaled it. That was super, super cool. That's an old Japanese technique. I had to look it up because I don't remember what the technique is called, of course, and even if I did, I'd mispronounce it. But that's an old Japanese thing. Once again, bringing Star Wars back to old Japanese samurai.
Well, he's called a daimyo, which is straight like Japan.
Japan. Yeah, exactly. Super, super cool. Then later that night, a tribal dance ensues around the fire, no doubt to celebrate the acceptance as Boba as part of the tribe. This whole scene, loved it. Loved it. Great way to end it.
I like it starts out with just the two of them, and then the whole tribe joins in. It's an awesome scene,
dude. If this Tusken, if they die, if we have a Quill moment, bro.
I'm envisioning
Why else would he leave the tribe? I feel like he's going to find some sort of a purpose to stay with them, and something's going to happen, and that's why he leaves.
I'm waiting for the moment that we get in Mandalorian where he says, Mando, I've been tracking you. Like, there has to be a reason why he starts tracking Mando.
Well, he was tracking Cobb Vanth.
But he's tracking Din for some reason, and I want to
because
see
Din
that moment.
Din gets his armor from Cobb. He was tracking Cobb. And then
that's all speculation on our part. Like I just want to see how how he gets turned on to Din 100%. Like where is he out in the middle of the Tusken with the Tuskens and he sees Cobb in his armor and then he starts following Cobb. Like I want to see that whole chain of events is what I want to see.
We know that he watches the whole thing afar because at the end of the first episode of season 2 of Mando, when Mando's driving away with all of his armor,
and he gets Fennec. Yeah, I know that.
What?
When he finds Fennec, he's following.
No.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm saying I want to see he's with the Tuskens and he's like, what the heck? That's my armor flying past.
I got you, but we do see that he sees Din with the armor
Yes.
on the swoop bike.
I'm more talking before.
You want the actual like. That's my armor.
Yeah, like I want to see like
this
his
is
jet.
Boba Fett.
I just want to see like whether it's Cobb or whether it's Jawas, like just something like his armor like just fly past him, and he's like, "What the god dang?"
He's like forgotten his past. He's like, wait, that's mine.
Yeah,
yeah, I got you, Justin.
Yes,
I think it's a great time to go into our Cantina listening post.
This is my favorite part of the show.
Dude, General Veers, guys, if you noticed at the beginning of this week, told you that the shields were down and your hot takes were ready to be received. So we're going to go into them right now.
Starting out 2022 with a banger.
All right, guys, this is what happened.
What happened was...
So we're recording on 2 different days for these episodes.
To give you all the
we're being
optimal chance of calling in.
Yeah, optimal chance for calling in and being a part of the show. It's hard to watch Wednesday and call and give a hot take. So we decided to
hard to record on Friday.
It's hard to record on Friday, apparently. So we record Wednesday when we do the breakdown, and then we reconvene Friday for the wheel spin. We've been recording for the last 25 minutes. Or so we thought. We finished everything and realized that for whatever reason it was not recording, which I know that I hit record. I just think it went somewhere else.
I made a fantastic vulva joke, and that's gone forever.
Ooh, man, you... Lady Park joke galore, and that's gone now. Anyway, so we're just going to give you a recap very quickly as to what happened. So we roll a dice, which you are assigned the dice number for when you call in. So
per the order of
calling, so it is completely fair. The winner of the weekly wheel spin, I'm not making this up, Steve from This Is The Way podcast, you actually won the wheel spin. This Is The Way podcast. I'm going to go over to the wheel cam, which we already spun.
It's still on the...
It's still... You landed on the drink coaster, so we're going to send you 2 drink coasters. I can't believe this happened.
We were way more excited about this the first time.
Hang on. Well, I had to give him I'm going to give him another spin. We'll see what happens.
You get your drink coasters no matter what.
Yeah, you get your drink coasters no matter what.
If this lands on a dare for Justin, he's not doing it because it's void.
Dude, I'm so upset. I'm sorry. What she gets... Okay, dare jar. But you really landed on the drink coasters.
Cantina drink coasters are amazing cork drink coasters, laser etched with the Cantina logo, made by one of our actual listeners and supporters, Ben. What's the name of Ben's company?
Bowcaster?
Bowcast, thank you.
Yeah. Bowcaster. So we're going to send you over those drink coasters. I'll hit you up on Twitter and get that address for you. Yeah, super sorry, guys. We were freaking killing it. We were being hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
We went through every call and the recording was lost. So
Can't wait to talk about Boba Fett again.
Oh, we're going to have to. We're going to go through it again, but it's okay. We love you guys. We thank each and every one of you for calling. I think now is actually a great time, really quick. We'll go over the points.
Yes, because we've already tallied them up because we were done.
Yeah, so we've already tallied them up. So going into this week, we have Jonathan Kuhn with 6 entries into the grand prize.
That's including this week's calls.
That is including this week's calls. We have Jordan Grip with 6 entries. We have Russell, a.k.a. Magistrate, with 1. We have Roberto with 2. We have Darth Paulo with 1. Chris Machado with 3. Vinny with 1. Steve from This Is The Way podcast with 1, and Glenn Osborne with 3. Thank you guys.
It's a close game.
All of you guys for calling. Once again, we will be talking about, we will be releasing the grand prize winner at the end of Book of Boba Fett. So every time you guys call, you get an entry. If you are a Patreon member, you get 3 entries into the grand prize. You're just, dude, I'm sorry.
I start laughing.
Sucks. I know, it sucks.
Like, I feel very deja vu right now.
I know. All right. Well, the winner of this week, which was Steve from This Is The Way podcast, we are going to play his
green
transmission
lightsaber
for. Dang it! I'm sorry, dude. It is what it is. Here we go, Steve.
Hey guys, it's Steve from This Is The Way podcast. I saw your call to action on Twitter, and I thought I'd call in and ask you a question.
See, he runs a podcast. So I bet you he's lost a recording or 2.
Oh yeah, I don't think you can podcast without it happening.
We need to talk about some of the episodes that we've lost before because it is pretty funny.
God dang fast food episode.
An anonymous listener that I got a kick out of. So crack open a cold one for me.
We went
and
to whiskey.
discuss.
We got whiskey for you, my
Hard
friend.
stuff.
Boba Fett was a Force user. What color might his lightsaber blade be? I said orange.
Orange.
And I explained my thoughts in my episode 2 podcast discussion I hope to have edited and released by the weekend. But what do you guys think? Hey, the Cantina looks great, but here, take this for the mess.
Oh,
Thank you.
I like it. I like that. That's a reference to the episode in Tashi Station where he gives them the little tip for the mess.
Listen, you got it. Thank you very much for calling in. Steve, once again, you did win this week's wheel spin.
Yes, we'll
It was
reach
not
out to
rigged. I will get your address from you on Twitter, and I will get those drink coasters out to you. I'll also give you some stickers. So, Boba.
I'm changing my answer from the first time.
Dude, guys, you don't understand. When you put time into something, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And this week, it did not go our way.
It's fine.
It's fine. It is what it is. Okay. You're going to change your answer.
I'm changing my answer.
Okay.
So the question is, if Boba was a Force user, what color would his lightsaber blade be?
Yes.
And when we were talking the first time,
Yep.
I kind of asked the question, like, are we saying, like, Boba has a Ronin-style little pouch full of
Kyber
a whole bunch of
crystals.
Kyber crystals, and he can drop whichever one to pick the color?
'Cause
or
I
are we
was
saying
saying-
he's picking up a Kyber crystal and his connection with the Force is attuning it to whatever?
Yeah.
We went with, like, he's just color coordinating how he sees fit.
Yeah, because
is
I
how
was
we
saying
landed.
I like the idea of Boba, even if he was a Force user, still being a bounty hunter, still being in his Mando armor, and just ganking Jedi.
Kind of like a when Sabine uses a lightsaber. Like
Yeah, exactly.
She's extremely proficient with it, but
Yeah.
she's not necessarily a Jedi or a Sith.
Exactly.
I am going with white.
Okay.
Neutral. I'm
Neutral.
going neutral.
Going white.
Yep, white.
So did he bleed it himself?
I don't care.
Or wait, purified, my bad.
It
Did
is
he purify
just
it?
a white.
He just
crystal.
has white.
My first answer, I will be transparent. I said blue because
Yeah.
it would be just a pure contrast to
I think
everything
that's
else
the most
on him.
iconic lightsaber color too.
Yeah.
Is blue.
Orange was a great answer.
Yeah,
but
orange
We
is-
kind of ignored that as an option because it
'cause
was
he's-
too good.
Yeah, and he said it, but orange is what I would have put. I went with yellow, and I'm still gonna go with yellow. I think that.
Ooh, or what about in Force Unleashed? Remember he has like that black crystal that's solid black,
it's
but
kinda
like
like
white
the-
dark sabery
Well,
looking.
I was gonna say it's dark sabery. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I always forget about that one. But I think Boba would look good with purple too. But I'm sticking with yellow. I still think yellow. I think orange is the best answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think orange is the best, but I think yellow is a close second. Green, we can't
have two different.
We can't have two different
It's got to be
greens.
something in some way different.
Yeah, the yellow's gonna complement the little honor stripes.
Red is too.
He's not
like
a Sith.
he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a Sith.
And the red's too far off from the burgundy blood-looking color he's got on everything.
Yeah.
Let's play a poorly written voicemail by Jordan.
Thank you very much for calling in, Steve. We will get your address and get those coasters out to you. Now we have the Cantina Splicer himself, Jordan Grip, a.k.a. the Casual Kid.
You did not do my job for me this time.
Guys,
I already
these
said
are my
what you were gonna
poorly
talk about.
written show notes for BOBS EP Dose.
Now's when we laugh.
Finish
'cause that was
showing
funny.
up, doing her job. Employee of the month.
It's still
So
funny
this
though.
house droid needs to start yelling, Father!
That's an IT crowd joke.
Order of the Night Wind, the Mercedes of assassins. Overpriced and can be easily chased down. Freaking mayor's assistant. Gives Twi'leks a bad name. Every time I don't see Boba shooting someone, I'm disappointed.
Agree, 100%.
Yeah.
The mayor's
100%,
voice
yeah.
is executive producer Robert Rodriguez.
I already knew that.
You're welcome for doing your job for you.
You didn't.
The Hutt twins. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Love it.
More dreams? Really? What is this, Inception? Space, desert, murder.
Do you like the movie Inception?
It's been too long since I've seen it.
No.
Christopher
no,
Nolan.
No. Do you
Yes.
like the movie Inception?
I do, because Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite cinema creators
Do
ever.
you think that Christopher Nolan has a Michael Bay rap?
As far as trying to be like mind-bending?
No, just that everything. I don't like the idea like when someone gets a style, everything's the same.
Well, I don't think that he has the same style, because from like movies like Memento or Inception to Batman are vastly different.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You got me.
Train. Boba sad. Even in
Boba's
space,
sad.
biker gangs are rude and obnoxious.
I must spit my drink out.
Boba walking into a bar looking like an escaped convict, hit them in the alien crotch, and then promptly leaves like it was nothing.
Was it?
Absolute legend.
Why do all aliens...
Boba says he's giving
Konnor just spit his drink out. You know what? Reshoots are the best. Connor's dying. He's vomiting onto the carpet.
The whole thing of whiskey went down the wrong pipe. The whole thing.
This episode is the best.
You know how,
He's just straight up spinning inside right now.
you know when you get a little bit down the wrong pipe? Whole thing. I don't know what happened, bro. My trachea was like, nah.
Boba kicked you in the alien nuts.
Oh my god. I'm crying. Oh, what were you saying?
That all
Before I
aliens
died?
have their genitals in the same spot. That Boba just goes straight to the kick to the crotch as if it's going to be the exact same thing.
Oh, they're humanoids, bro. That's why. Shout outs to Men in Black, though, with the Balchinian. Dude, my assault. I'm done. Wow. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I literally died.
If this is off the rails, we apologize.
Oh my god, that hurt so bad. Oh.
Space Desert Murder Train. Boba sad. Even in space, biker gangs are rude and obnoxious.
It's true.
How dare you, sir?
Boba walking into a bar looking like an escaped convict, hit them in the alien crotch, and then promptly leaves like it was nothing. Absolute legend.
True.
Boba says he's giving the bikes as a gift to the Tusken chief, then tells the other Tuskens that the bikes are his. Worst gift giver ever.
And now we go into a whole diatribe about Indian jokes, and we make super cultural inappropriate jokes.
Inappropriate jokes. No.
How?
How? So
Me, Boba.
this is me, Boba Fett. So
We can't even
we can't even recreate it. We
made
had this whole thing.
A lot of inappropriate things that probably should have been edited out.
It wasn't inappropriate. We're both.
Do you guys remember in elementary school when you had an Indian, like American Indian,
Come into class
to
that day?
school, and they would
Yes.
actually like still be like, "How?"
Yes.
And then they were like, "We've never said how. That's not part of our language.
That's
That
not-
was just you idiot white people."
Yes. We had this whole thing. We can talk about it again. We're from Florida. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Florida is steeped in American Indian culture, Native American culture.
The county that I live in is Seminole County.
Yeah.
The street names, the major cities, the
Ocoee,
lakes.
Apopka, Okalahumpka, Econolahhatchee, Ocala. Those are all Native American names.
Yeah, they're Injun names. That's fine to say, right?
They're what?
Injun?
Yeah,
You
that's
can
it.
say that?
Yeah, that's it. Like the engine to the train, for this episode.
No, like Injun, like Jurassic Park.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's it.
The image of Boba riding a bantha now lives rent-free in my mind. Proud Papa Boba. I haven't seen this many Tuskens fall since the last time Anakin Skywalker was on Tatooine.
Well,
The Swoop Bike Gang.
we did laugh at that. I'm trying to
I
recreate
know.
where we actually like busted out laughing.
Dang it.
Jordan, your call was fire,
It
and
was.
our original reaction was
It was hilarious. It's just I'm dying. Whiskey went down the wrong pipe. We lost a recording. Fantastic.
continue.
The train sequence is sick. Thanks to whoever thought of putting a Wild West train sequence in this show.
Solo movie.
Spice dealers. I really want them to be Crimson Dawn.
They're the Pikes,
One
bro.
thing to
Sorry.
show off his range as an actor. The tree that grabbed Boba in that dream sequence was played by Sam Witwer.
Now I'm gonna
Confirmation
laugh.
testing.
It's true.
That was hilarious.
It was.
More Camino cutscenes,
I
please.
feel bad.
That was a
Fake
long
laugh.
walk for a stick, dude. Oh, the lizard came out. That's how you get the Rona.
I missed
Buffalo
that
looks
joke.
so tired of this BS. The making of the stick, though, it was a bit long.
He calls it
It's
a
probably
stick.
one of the coolest Star Wars things I've seen in quite some
I think
time.
it was a stick.
This episode was better, but I feel like
Shout outs to the montage of him making his gaffy stick.
At KonKon's Cantina, we are pro montage.
Pro montage.
Anytime there's a montage.
All the montages.
John and Cowboy Dave really should have all the flashback stuff at once,
They called
and
him
then
Cowboy
deal with
Dave.
the present. Guys, those were my poorly written show notes for BOBF EP Dos.
Whew. Did you see that I posted today that John is confirmed for an episode?
Yes, episode 6.
Because what we've talked about that they've been so secretive with the show.
Well, this was written by Jon Favreau in the credits.
Okay,
This episode was.
Oh.
This specific
Episode 2.
chapter 2 was
I
written
gotcha.
by Jon Favreau.
But remember, for Mando, we got who was writing each episode beforehand. Like,
and the directors were bouncing around. This is pretty solid with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think, and I'm just happy to know that Dave's doing a show. Because Dave, even though Dave did, we kind of thought was some of the weaker episodes for Mando, but still, like, the story Dave's always pushing.
He was, admittedly by himself, he was getting his chops directing live action. He had only ever done animated.
Exactly. Thank you, Jordan, for that amazing call-in. Once again, we very much appreciate it. Our next call is from Roberto.
What's up, guys? It's Roberto again.
How'd you
Calling
know
up
he was
for
gonna
this
say it like
last
that?
episode that just
Because
came
he said
out.
it last week.
Another awesome episode.
I haven't heard this
love
before.
It. My hot take for this is that I really like the way they portrayed the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders. Definitely one of those things where I've always viewed them as just like wild animals kind of thing.
Racist.
But in reality, they're more of a tribe and they're more organized than, the movies let on.
I saw somebody on Twitter say, if there's one thing that Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett has taught us, it's that Jawas are the true villains of the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
You saw that?
Yeah.
And it's really cool to just see their culture and get to learn more about a little bit of history of Tatooine, or Mos Eisley, and all that, and understand why they are the way they are. And I just thought that they were just awesome the way they fight, especially that female.
That is a female, confirmed
female
by
version.
Justin.
Did you see the thing I sent you?
No, I don't read what you sent me.
Oh, of course not.
What is it?
It's an actual woman. She's a stunt person for Marvel.
I didn't need to hear that. Like, I told you.
Listen, you had a 50%
First
chance.
of all, Cobb Vanth, correct.
You had a 50-50 shot. You were like, that person that we don't know, woman. I'm like, could have been a guy.
I know the female figure. I know the vulva. See how I did that? I brought the vulva joke back in a completely different way.
All right, we're gonna get to why he's saying that.
Of them, and
Look
it
at
was really
this.
cool to see.
This is a
And
vulva.
of course, another thing that I didn't expect to see was right away was the Hutts to come around. I knew it would happen. I just didn't realize how soon it would happen. Also, one of my favorite things to see there, which was very intimidating, is that Wookiee warrior. I mean,
I will say that the twins were a surprise to me.
African American Chris Santee.
Yes, because he said that he knew that it would happen at some point, like Hutts.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that we'd see Hutts again. I thought we were going to see some sort of a crime syndicate
I
boss.
knew we had to. I mean, Jabba's dead. I don't know. This is occurring to me right now. Why did the Hutts take so long with Bib Fortuna in charge to step in?
It kind of goes back to
I guess
it's not that long.
Yeah,
but
that's the problem. Is in our heads, it's been forever. But I guess realistically, that would Bib Fortuna was in charge for like a day.
Well, 5 years.
Oh wait, god dang it! I'm fighting with flashbacks, and I'm fighting.
That's what I'm saying is. But remember,
so yeah, I go back to why were the Hutts chill with Bib Fortuna for like 5 years? Then?
Because of all the crap they were dealing with on Nalhutta. Like they kind of say that in the episode.
They said yes, that's true.
So it was a surprise to Boba as well.
It was probably because they viewed Bib as like not a threat.
Yeah.
Whereas now Boba comes in and like, oh crap, I guess we do have to deal with this.
Do you think that it was just fanfare having Bib sit there? Because if Boba walked in and shot him, why didn't anybody else do that? Is nobody stupid enough to go against the Hutts? Kind of like what you're saying. Was Bib viewed as a puppet?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think many people would have the balls to try to take over Jabba's role, even if it wasn't Jabba in that role, because they knew that the Hutts would still be involved. And I the more I think about it, I do think that the Hutts were probably like his lackey, like this is not a threat. this is like somebody in a placeholder. I'm not worried about. We can easily take this back in control when we have less important things.
Yeah.
Or the more important things are done being dealt with. We can move on to this.
This is occurring to me too. It's almost like the mayor kind of alluded to this already when he told Boba, like, you should be careful who you threaten. Like, if you threaten the mayor, you threaten the twins, kind of thing. So, like, he's probably answering to the twins this whole time, and they're like, "Hey, listen, Ithorian, what's going on at the
this
palace?
dingus is sitting on the throne, but he's nobody. Let him think he's in charge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That dude was scary. Definitely wouldn't want to fight him. But Boba Fett is acting like, he doesn't faze me, and he even throws a jab at him.
Calling him a
so
gladiator.
I thought that was awesome. But yeah, all right, guys, take care.
Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you, Roberto, very much for that call-in. Next, we have Jonathan Kuhn.
Stop working so
Hey,
late.
guys, it's Jonathan. Wanted to call in real
So
quick.
loud
Still
again.
out working,
I know.
8 o'clock, hitting that grind.
Go home.
But just wanted to call in and say what a fantastic episode. I think last week we all wanted it to pick up a little bit, and it definitely picked up this week. So that was good to see. It was exciting. It was a good Wild Wild West episode.
Will Smith.
And I really liked it. But I just want to say something real quick while I'm
James
out.
West. Desperado.
Driving home from the job. So we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Jonathan, to call in.
No, you don't want none of this. 6 gun in this.
This episode really was a step up from episode 1.
That was Will Smith in Wild Wild West.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Do you remember when Burger King came out with all the toys for the Will Smith movies?
Oh, yes.
And then Oakley made
the weird glasses
that went over the head. And they were like super expensive.
I saw an article like about Will Smith saying like how much he regrets ever doing that movie.
Dude, that movie's fantastic. Dude, you know what? I'm surprised that movie hasn't been canceled off the face of the freaking planet.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Dude, that movie is funny. It still holds up.
I watch that again.
Yeah, it's really. I still enjoy that movie.
Who's the bad guy in that? It's the long hair. Who's the long-haired bad guy in that?
Oh, the long.
What's his?
Who's the long-haired bad guy? I don't know his name.
It's a face that I've seen like in 1,000 things.
Yeah, he's in a ton of movies.
Yeah, shout out to that guy.
Yeah, but you're hey, who's that white guy in that movie?
I don't know.
It's exactly.
This day is gone astrew. Is that a word?
Hey, this is Glenn Osborne.
Glenn Osborne calling in. Thank you, sir.
Quick takes on episode 1 and 2.
Boba Fett.
I really like seeing the Boba Fett down in the Sarlacc. I remember in the Book of Boba Fett, the Book of in Tales from Jabba's Palace, a bar like that, the Tale of Boba Fett. In that story, they went way more in depth than this thing did in what happens inside the Sarlacc. A lot of mental, psychological.
Pause it. So this is what we were talking about the first time.
Yes.
Say what you had done said.
Say what I had said was there's a big. Well, you had said that there's a problem with the EU.
Mm-hmm.
Say that part, and then I'll say what I was saying. Continuity.
So he's talking about one thing. I said what I remembered, and one of the problems with the EU that I think anybody can universally agree was a problem is that too many people came up with their story about things, and there was no official canon, which we have now. This is what happened.
Yeah.
So you could read one thing in one novel, another thing in another novel, and then something the same but slightly different, or totally different in a comic book.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because there was like this whole thing about Boba, like there was somebody in the Sarlacc pit with him, and they help him get out. Like he coaxed them into turning on his jetpack, which they actually make fun of that story in Robot Chicken. I don't know if you remember that.
I love Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken 2, Star Wars edition. Dude, fantastic, by the way. We need to do something on that.
Shout out to Blue Harvest, Family Guy Star Wars as well. I love Family Guy.
The Family Guy Star Wars, I think, it's not that good.
It's because it came out after Robot Chicken.
Dude, Robot Chickens is so good.
They're both
especially
amazing.
with Boba. Oh, look at Boba got himself a lightsaber. Oh, red and blue. What's that make? Purple rain, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
Like it is
solid.
But in there,
we should do a full
we
a
need
full Robot Chicken episode. Why have we not thought about that?
We have. It's in our note. We wrote it down before. Anyway, they specifically make fun of that, and the whole point is then there's the whole story of Boba having the
psychological mind
connection with the Sarlacc and convincing the Sarlacc to let him go. So the EU had all these continuity errors. So like all these like individuals who really, really seek for the EU to kind of like be reinstated,
they ignore a lot of that. So
like
there's pluses and minuses, man. Like
both sides.
There are fantastic stories, and characters and narratives that have been told that are now like thrown into the garbage. But there's just as many contradictions that happened in storylines that people like hindsight. Like what's it called? They have rose-colored glasses for the nostalgia of the EU, and they remember what they loved and forget about stuff like this.
One thing that I love about Star Wars is sharing Star Wars with people. I love talking to Star Wars with other people, and as much as you and I don't care for the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy brought a huge influx of people.
I always openly admit that. Like, I'm glad it exists because of what it did for the entire franchise.
The IP brought in money, brought in more fans, and those people are then able to explore other avenues of Star Wars. And just because you don't like something doesn't mean you have to be toxic about it. You know, like the sequel trilogies aren't my favorite. You know, yes, they're low on my tier list, but they're Star Wars canon. They're still there, and it's great to talk about those things with the EU.
Rey's theme is fire.
Some of the best Star Wars music that we have, John Williams. Come on,
master music teller.
Shenanigans went on there, but this one he's cut and dry, jumped in, found a way out, and dug his way out. So this is a little bit different. Has some great creatures. It has a behemoth, which looked like a Ray Harryhausen from type of animation, which I thought was pretty awesome. That's one of the best creatures in modern times, it looks like. I really like the style that they went with for the behemoth, and that was on episode 1. In episode 2, we got a tease of the Rancor, which was heartbreaking, even though I knew there wasn't a Rancor in there. But
how funny would it have been if the tiny little Rancor
from
Bad Batch was down there, and like the doors open and he sees like the feet and he still calls up and says it was the mayor that sent him, but then it's
you know what the best part of this is? We've already talked about this and we still didn't look up his name.
Why can't you just go with it? Why can't you just reenact it with me, bro?
It's like, what's his name? I don't know.
No.
We'll never have the chance to redo this. Oh crap.
Never.
I really wanted to see a Rancor. Maybe Boba Fett can get another Rancor and put one down there. And
he should put that 6-arm monster down there.
I know, he should have captured that sucker.
Overall, I really love Book of Boba Fett because Return of the Jedi was my favorite of the Star Wars films, which is...
This is a hot take that I've said before, and Glenn is agreeing. Well, saying it.
Return of the Jedi is the favorite of the films.
When I was younger, that was my favorite, bro.
It's my second favorite. I think.
Yeah, dude. I think
there's something about the opening of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
like
dude.
the whole Luke coming down the stairs, the whole like master plan that has been crafted perfectly. Leia's in oh my god, what's the name? Oh my god, what's the name of her helmet? Bosch. I want to say Bobish, and I knew that wasn't it.
Bosch.
The Bosch helmet.
Story time, real quick. This is actually an embarrassing story for me. Suka. Still got it. Anyway,
that wasn't planned.
Went to Star Wars trivia. I'm not going to talk about how Star Wars trivia was done because I don't agree with the point system. But I got 25 out of 26 questions right, and the last question that I got wrong was, what was the name of the bounty hunter that Leia portrayed in Return of the Jedi? I was a one-man band that night. Because you're
sad.
A dodo head and didn't go with me.
Listen, it was so far from me in the middle of the week.
It's Star Wars trivia.
You didn't come the last time we played Star Wars trivia, and we won that time.
When?
In Deviant Wolf. It was me, Russell Magistrate.
I had to have had a good reason why. I probably was on call. Had to have been.
Either way, like, we always win. Like,
it's true. Well,
hopefully.
Anyway,
probably an odd choice normally, but the Jabba's palace is one of the best parts in Return of the Jedi. So
agree,
100%.
I'm really enjoying the series, and
agree.
That's it. enjoy listening to the podcast later.
Thank you very much, Glenn, for calling in. Good, solid, another week of call-ins.
Yes, absolutely.
We had another prize wheel. Sorry about the recording incident, guys. Look, it happens when you're doing a podcast. It just happens. If you're not like actively one thing that me and Justin try to achieve is me and him are very picky about quality. Mm-hmm. And we like when you're streaming on Twitch or any streaming platform, you can't like edit stuff or make stuff better, or
it's live.
It's
for
live.
lack of better words.
Yeah, it's a different environment, and we like having a little bit more control. For a million reasons. Maybe a mic isn't working, and if you're already live, like you have to mess with it. Like playing with somebody's volumes during a live show, like it's just something that we don't do. We pre-record. So unfortunately, that call-in episode was pre-recorded. Hopefully you still enjoyed this. I still had fun. I had a great time. I'm sure you did too.
Oh yeah,
I
love watching
died.
you choke on your.
I 1000% died on that whiskey. I am still suffering. My windpipe was completely open for that entire thing, and that was interesting. Guys, thank you very much once again for listening and calling in to this week of KonKon's Cantina. Don't forget, if you call in next week, 407-900-50.
Booyah!
I'm trying to say the number. 407-900-5084.
Woo-yavi.
Woo-yavi. You get an entrance, and if you're a patron, you get multiple entrances to the grand prize. Again, we will be here next week talking about episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett, and we will see you guys next time.
See you later. Did it record?